Гутен Мутен. Дамы и господа, продолжим мы Starfield. Я, наверное, думаю, немножечко звука сейчас подбавлю игре. Продолжаем. Навык грузоподъемности снижает вероятность обнаружения контрабанды сторожевыми кораблями. Кстати говоря, надо его, значит, прокачивать, да? А насколько он снижает? Надо сейчас будет посмотреть. Это либо что-то новое добавили. Так. Завещание там у него решилось. Давай посмотрим. Еще 8 замков надо сломать. Экспериментальные модули, хорошо. Угу. Так, ну давай пока вот это. Химия. Так, а какой у меня левел-то получается? Тильда. Тильда, только я не помню, какой там... По-моему, так? Или как? Сейчас я загуглю. Сет выбрал. Сет пропустил. Ну ладно. Давай. Потому что если так это все прокачивать, то, конечно, можно ёбнуться. Ведь реально можно ебануться, качать это все так. Во время боя. Вот грузоподъемность у нас есть. Угу. Но это все долго будет, да, качаться? Нет, все так. Угу. Я просто не пойму пока, как это, вернее, не помню, наверное, как это сделать, да? Всякие провокации, так. Так, давай-ка теперь посмотрим, за чем мне за задания остались. Давай, ладно.
Make it quick. I have a deadline. You're interrupting me. Is this time accounted for? We're on a strict schedule. I just want to make sure this impromptu meeting is properly tracked. I will take that as a no. It's not accounted for.
Да, считай,
If
как
time
хочешь,
is
вообще
money,
пофигу.
then suffice to say Ms. Serrano would not be pleased with such a frivolous expenditure. Ms. Yuko Serrano? Senior Operations Specialist at Ryujin Industries? She's one of the heads of the department you're standing in. You may have a point. And since you clearly have bandwidth to spare, maybe you can help me clean up a, minor indiscretion. I'm not at liberty to say. I will remind you of another common phrase: loose lips sink ships. So, be cautious around the office and discuss intel at your peril. We're each assigned shifts to assist operatives, ensuring coverage at all hours. Personally, I like to keep my circadian rhythms intact. Early to rise, early to bed, as nature intended. Contractually, yes, but I'd rather avoid the embarrassment. Normally, I do a good job of setting boundaries between work and life. This
Да, блядь,
incident
ближе к делу,
is
чувак. Ну, блядь,
an
реально.
exception. Good. Let me give you some background. Recently, I've been assisting the impoverished in both Ebbside and the
Тогда
Underbelly.
подделаем побочки,
I
наверное,
pay for
которые
the
есть.
occasional meal, clinic visit, or comfort. But I may have lost a slate in the process. I need you to locate and retrieve it for me. Pre-assignment intel for one of our operatives. The contents themselves
Мне кажется,
aren't
с этого
too
задания еще
so
какое-то будет
if you're
задание.
thinking of betraying me, they aren't worth much as leverage. My sloppiness is simply an embarrassment that I'd like to correct. It's not a matter of trust, but one of time. I have little to spare. You do not. Then we have an agreement. Good. Go to the underbelly and talk to the panhandler, Huang. Discarded items are her specialty. So, if you can manage to find it, bring it back to me. Perhaps I could... There is an aquatic species on Volai Epsilon, which, by cruel irony or test of metal, had only 1 in 10,000 make it to adulthood. Most are eaten, some simply die in the crawl to the ocean. Meanwhile, there is a similar species that is born in the water itself. They never make this journey and thus never know its hardship. Which begs the question. I suppose I know what you're thinking, and I am not what you'd call a bleeding heart. But I also believe in equity. I am well aware that my life came with a head start. So I try my best to balance the equation.
Но он реально какой-то...
Bring the hatchlings. The conditions are character building. But as much as I dislike the underbelly, when you spend all day keeping secrets, the time I spend
Короче, какой-то Платон, блядь, будущего времени.
sheds some of that weight. Goodbye. As technicians, we handle prep and post-op work. Beginnings and as you were.
Так что надо сделать-то, блядь? Я не могу въехать.
Can I help you? There is an aquat. Only one. Meanwhile, which begs the question. In the natural world, I'd agree. I know what you're thinking, and I am not. But, so I try my best. The smells alone. But as much as I dislike the underbelly, when you spend all day, the time I spend volunteering. Until next time.
Так сколько с ним можно разговаривать, блядь?
Pace yourself, but make it up. I'm not at liberty to... So... We're each assigned... Personally... Contractually, yes, but... Normally I do a good... This incident... There is an aquatic species. Only one. Meanwhile, there is... Which begs the question... I agree. Which is why I know what you're thinking, and I am not what you'd call a... But I
Чё,
also...
блядь, он заебал философствовать, если честно.
To balance the equation. Think what you will. But as much as I dislike the underbelly, when you spend all day, the time I...
Ну, он эту фразу отвечает постоянно.
There is an aquat. Only one. Meanwhile, that... Which begs the question... Goodbye. How goes the slate search? Any complications? There is an aquatic... Only one.
Блядь, она или заглючена, эта миссия.
I know what you... But... So I try. I don't wish to speak ill of them. But as much as I... When you spend the time I... There is an aquatic... Only one. Meanwhile, there is a similar... Which begs the question. In the natural world, I know, but... So I don't wish to speak ill, but as much as... When you spend the time I spend... As you were.
Это странная, блядь, миссия. Так.
I have things for you.
This is United Colony space. Maintain current course while we scan for contraband.
Да, нет никакой
And
контрабанды.
we're done. Welcome to Mars.
Так, ладно.
I have something for you when you have a moment.
Кстати, а здесь можно попробовать сейчас корабль улучшить. Хотя он и так ебашит там нормально.
Is that something you might be interested in?
Так что, наверное, в принципе, нет смысла. Так.
The Lux condos aren't anything special.
It's not easy living in Sidonia.
Keep your eyes peeled for signs of terrormorph activity. After what happened to our forces into Atlantis, we need to be extra.
Hey!
Ага, я ж нажал кнопку.
Haven't seen you around here before. Did you just move in? Huh. Must have missed it. Didn't see any moving boxes or anything. Anyway, if you're new, name's Mitch. I'm just a guy who lives here in the Lux condos. I'm always looking to make new friends. I love having people to hang out with and watch movies, talk about books.
Понятно.
Potential employers, you say? Well, you are in. Well, more accurately, I need someone with a ship to help me out with a favor, and I'm willing to pay. But if you're not interested... Ooh, yeah. I'm probably not the best person to ask about this. But there's a couple of bars around here. Some people like hiking around Mars. It's a cool planet for that, I hear. People just kind of make their own fun. What's that supposed to mean? But just because I look like I couldn't bench press a stick of raw spaghetti, I don't fit in here? Nah, just kidding. I got some issues that prevent me from working, and I was offered an experimental treatment, and unfortunately, instead of getting cool superpower, but it's okay. They offered me this condo and set me up with enough money to get by without working. I live pretty well.
Без работы уж точно не скучно.
I don't have the kind of money to pick up and leave. And otherwise, I kind of like it in Sedona. Yeah, I get some credits every month, but... Besides, I share my money. I blow it all on games, movies, comics, books, and others. I feel like it's better to spend it now. Create good memories for us. I try not to let it get me down. Right now, I may have been dealt a shit hand of cards, but I decided to say, screw that! Though some things would be
Ну что,
easier
какой-то
if it
компьютерный,
wasn't
блядь,
my help.
гений, что ли?
Yeah, thanks. You too.
I hate that we have to dress up for these things.
Oh, I saw a movie about this magic using. Wish I could remember the name. Oh, you do? That's great. Well, I found out recently that my favorite book series, Dragonstar Force, had a very I really want to collect all the first editions, but it's hard for me to get. I already tracked down Volume 1. Could you go buy it and bring it back here for me? I'll pay you back, of course. They're these old science fiction fantasy books about space and good versus evil. And there's this team of heroes who fight space wizards. Don't worry, you'll get your money as long as you bring me that first edition.
Так, это надо куда-то улетать сейчас будет или что? Получается, что да. Сейчас тогда туда какую-то книгу, потом что?
Welcome to UC Space. Maintain your current course while we scan your ship's cargo. Scan complete. Go ahead and land.
Ну, кстати, можно будет и это задание взять. И это задание будет взять, там какой-то поговорить там с каким-то чертом. И два тогда параллельно сделать.
I picked up something you might be interested in.
So, what's the point? Sort of art, possession.
Мне кажется, она стабильно стала работать.
Something.
Блять, что опять с этим ебаным интернетом? Ну что, наладилось, нет? Блять, ну вроде бы.
As a truck rider, what
You don't need to wear your helmet in here. You know that, right?
Even in the well, the trade
There's something you
authority
need?
continues to
The
flourish.
trade authority has access to goods
Makes
and
you
services
sick,
no one
doesn't
else
it?
does. No one. Of course, of course.
А я хотел бы, чё, торговец. Так. Пепелище. Такс. Разное. А что это такое-то?
If you need anything else, you know where to find us.
Так, мне что надо? Dragon Star Force. Ну, купить книгу надо.
It's cliche, but it's true. You won't find a better selection or more reasonable prices anywhere. The Trade Authority appreciates your visit.
Так. Давай сохранимся. Заместителем Макентайра. Так, они говорят поговорить с заместителем Макентайра. Вот, президента получили по заместителю Макентайра за дело. Доступ к архивам. Ну, можно, в принципе, вот это сразу взять. Так, это у нас объединенные колонии, да? Задание дальше в неизвестность у нас. Ну, давай, наверное, вот так.
You think they will start you to hire? What am I saying? Of course they would. I'm the best.
90 за книгу, но думаю, он побольше отдаст.
Friend mine in Macedonia for a while. Hopefully he finds something.
Just doesn't add up.
Давай-ка я вот... Так, а вот сюда перезапишу.
Has anti-xenophobe. Touchdown. Undetected.
These orders. A vanguard captain. You.
Элизабет Макентайр.
I'll make sure they get what they require.
Занята она. Сидит целый день,
That must
нихуя не
make you my
делает.
vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second in command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Нет, ну что такое архив, я думаю, все знают. Как туда попасть?
All right, we'll start at the beginning.
Объясняй.
When the colony war ended, the UC and Freestar Collective came to the agreement some weapons needed to be off limits. Mechs, xeno-warfare. So they gathered up all the relevant research materials.
Короче, после войны туда собрали все.
Terramorph data included. In the archives here in the city. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done. No. Each is a strip of several million random numbers generated on the fly based on biometric keys kept by each of the ambassadors on their person at all times. They're impossible to create without those keys, and those keys stay with the ambassadors, meaning we're accessing nothing if we can't get them on our side.
Ну
Very
ладно.
funny. This is going to be hard enough already. Both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now,
Так и чего там проблема, блядь? То, что послание хотят давать или что?
each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate. And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative. But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar? Or Ambassador Balmore?
Да давай по порядку, какая разница.
The good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable.
If Sam is
Несчастным?
any example of how stubborn the Freestar people can be, then I can imagine how difficult it must be
Да не
dealing with
ссы,
this
Сара, все
ambassador.
будет нормально.
Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her. Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support. And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code. Huh. Well, if that's the case, I'll wait to be pleasantly surprised. But we do have one item up
Ну,
our
понятно,
sleeve.
что переводила тут к зрению
Youth
нейросеть.
Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage. But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell. So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen. Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you. Yes, many. Don't steal anything.
Короче, ничего не красть и никого не
If something goes
пиздить.
wrong, we'll do our best to smooth things over. But
Они попытаются вписаться, вот эти товарищи, но...
He's younger than Ratcliffe, bears less of a grudge towards... He works closely with the ambassador, making him a promising source for information. And someone who very likely... All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up, you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise. And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some...
Ага, 20 косариков добавили.
Ambassador Balmore's a challenge. When the rest of House Varoon retreated into seclusion shortly after the... He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests. So there's real hope. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varoon thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych...
Now hold on a moment. There's no reason to assume we're better than they are.
They certainly come with a checkered past. We're not 100% sure Balmore's actually... His public appearances were always rare. But it's... Scans of the facility show life signs. Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties. Then you search the embassy for his biometric key, collect your code piece, and we'll go about notifying his next of kin. But let's hope it doesn't come to that. The Varoon delegation brought more than a few of their native flora with them. It seems those plants have been allowed to flourish, making it hard for... The embassy is still legally House Varoon's sovereign territory, so we're not technically permitted inside. We've snuck in the occasional spy, of course, but the ambassador has proven more evasive than you'd expect for a man of his age. But we're quite sure he hasn't left the city. It would at least be a speedier to go... But I, of course, hope the ambassador is... Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies... Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside. Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach, I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff.
Редклифф, хорошо. Редклифф, ну давай, давай. Спасла Редклифф. Начать. Слушай, а как мне, кстати, вот эти... Вот тут что-то, мне кажется, как дропается.
Maybe we should stop for a moment at the memorial. You know, pay our heart to believe it's been 2 decades since we were at war with...
Visitors are only allowed in the lobby.
I'm going to be upfront with you. I'm not happy visiting anything related to the Freestar Collective. But you lead, and I'll follow.
More than one? All that security, and they still can't protect their own spaceport. The UC never fails to disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Excuse me. Are you
Если бы их можно было по-тихому убрать.
can make themselves comfortable in the lobby. I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment? Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants terramorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy, in order to protect us all. I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right.
Ты чё, блядь, тролль?
Oh, stop. You're embarrassing yourself. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not.
А кто ж тогда заносит вам, блядь, всю эту информацию,
Now,
блядь?
why don't you quit wasting my time and yours and go? No, Captain, I'm not, and I'll tell you why. What you experienced down there at the spaceport, I've lived that once before already. Fought tooth and nail as aliens rampaged in the streets of my home and others all throughout the collective. But my aliens were placed there by UC hands. So I'm not interested in anyone getting power like that ever again. The UC most of all.
Ладно.
You have my answer. Now please take the hint.
Давай будем
Really
переубеждать.
gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance.
Ну вот как я могу ее... Давай я вот здесь сделаю вот так.
Not sure power like that was meant for humankind.
Did I not make myself abundantly clear, Captain? I'm listening. You know that for sure. That is interesting. I suppose you're right. Our job and our responsibility. It's possible I might be letting my history cloud my judgment. Possibly. Oh, I understand precisely what's at stake here. The balance of galactic peace. Captain, I'm sorry, but my answer is not changing. The UC is just gonna have to find another way. Now, I presume you can see yourself out. Did I not make myself...
Так, погоди-ка. Я-то могу ее завалить... нельзя валить, да? Давай я еще раз попробую. Короче, эта сука денег хочет, да?
Did I not make myself...
Ну, я не могу понять тогда, как эта хуйня работает. Так.
I'm listening. Please don't talk to me like I'm some cold-hearted monster. I'm trying to protect... You know that for sure. A ranger serving the cause of the colonies. You must really believe in this little...
Ну да, лянь, как оно.
You make some good points.
Портануло-то, блядь.
But if I'm really granting you access, I'm gonna need the following concessions. Your access will be limited. You can only take out the items related to stopping these terramorphs. The monitors will make sure of it. You go in once, you get everything you need on your trip, and never again.
Слушай, блядь, мне кажется, в библиотеку Ватикана проще зайти, блядь, чем туда к ним.
Freestar scientists will watch your people like hawks. So, do we have an agreement?
Подожди, я чуть не понял, что, блядь, надо было сделать.
Excellent. Follow me. It's not supposed to be a long process. It is for emergencies, after all.
Ну давай, иди, блядь. Рыба моя. Жарует. Реально в Ватикан проще, наверное, попасть, блядь. Нельзя ее там по темечку стукнуть? Давай я даже на всякий случай сделаю вот так.
They tell me it should only take a moment. And there. Here, I'll reach out to Deputy McIntyre. We'll coordinate the necessary oversights. Two unlikely allies, I guess.
Так, а что надо сделать-то?
People often mistake rivals for enemies. We don't have to like each other to do the right thing.
У них что-то даже сервера какие-то маленькие. Но она сказала, да будет сотни камер, типа там следить. Ну не сотни, там просто десятки, да ладно хоть.
Interested in?
Так, что-то я не понял. Ага. Все, теперь варм. А, ну это все там, короче, да? Это типа с лунатиками говорить. А, нет, там даже нет лунатика.
It's a shame House Varun abandoned their embassy. I bet we could have learned a lot from one another.
А зачем тогда с рейнджерами было говорить? Подожди, что-то я не понял. Ну там за рейнджеров-то пиздела эта дура, блядь. Ладно, как идет, так идет. Давай тогда это. Обычно посольство вверху, у них что-то оно внизу, блядь.
This isn't what I expected at all. It appears the flora they were using as decor has overgrown the entire embassy.
Ты еще что?
I've seen a tree like this before in my entire life. It'd actually be more fascinating if its branches weren't blocking my way. I'm gonna go down.
Блядь.
Find anything useful?
Ну где, кто, блядь? Ну-ка, давай-ка. Так. Это нам не подходит, это нам подходит, это нам подходит. Раз, теперь надо на 3 найти. Да, вас. На 3 найти. Три. 4 даже, да? Раз на 3. На 3. Блять. Ага, во. Ну и что дальше? Так. По логике всегда надо пробовать сначала самые большие. Два у нас остается. Опять самые большие. Два у нас остается и все. Да я потом запутаюсь, где там что было.
seems
Да подожди ты, блядь.
a reminder we can never truly know the great serpent's designs for us. You have my thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss.
Так, но это у него все равно не контрабанда. Ладно, давай дискас, потом...
Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I do greatly appreciate your persistence. I suspect the venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. But then again, who could cage such a beauty? Eh? Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard the broadcast mentioning an attack.
Да все нормально, отбили атаку, братан.
Suffered quite so badly. Harmless spores, you have my word, but hard to navigate. Hence why I was guiding you through the intercoms to It is the sap of the tree that gives it its... Well, but I must know of the rest of the city. Does it...
Да стоит твой город.
I take it you didn't have such an experience where you were then, hmm? Yes, the entire embassy was thrown into lockdown, trapping me in my quarters. A disconcerting experience, to say the least.
Давай патруль.
More time could be spent tidying, and fewer welcome. Now, it cannot solely be the You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. And the broadcast spoke of terror morphs. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all... an archive code. So, the UC requires information, then. The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. But, if I am to grant you access...
Да, блять, он охуел еще и требовал
For
какой-то.
years, House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter. We founded this embassy with hopes of shedding that legacy. With little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it is used for good. Ensure House Varun's legacy is more than just carnage. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends. Oh, you must assure me this will be used to save lives, not endanger them. A fine counterexample, responsible for the deaths of millions on ancient Earth. And, fireworks? Absolutely capable of being put to violence, but not evil in itself. And here you are with a similar conundrum.
Мне не хочется ему и обещать, и не обещать. Да, посредничать надо выбрать.
I would not be tarnishing the legacy of House Varun by doing so.
Так, ну тогда вот это.
We cannot know all the results of one's actions, certainly, but intentions, those we can command.
Вот мои намерения... Да, я благородный человек. В этом плане...
As the chair of Constellation, I take personal responsibility in vouching for this man's integrity. He'll keep his word.
Well then, I shall not fear. Please, follow me.
Так, ну код он даст, А что еще можно пиздить у них?
Let it be used for good.
Так, тут уже надо только украсть. А почему я в эту дверь не могу зайти? Ключ, карта, ворон, да, может разблокировать. Нет, ну это все хорошо. Ладно, получше... Он что там еще паяет сидит? Ладно, кофе не будем воровать. Ну, убивать его тоже, наверное, смысла ж никакого нет. Когда зеленая, что ли? Давай будем пробовать, я не знаю.
I will not have House Varun be known only for slaughter.
Ой, сука. Да, блядь, опять он поймал, сука. Ну как это так работает? Ловит, сука, и ловит, блядь. Ну как он... Ну, насколько я понимаю, да, должно гореть зеленым.
I hope that was worth the risk.
Will we all be so lucky next time the archives need to be accessed?
3:27, давай перепишем.
Something to think on.
Так, подожди, у меня ж есть эта ключ-карта, стой, алло. Слушай, ну это уже странно как-то.
The great serpent guide your path. House Varun committed itself. This was said at the time to be the desire of the great serpent. And so, when my brethren left, I remained. It was tolerable, even pleasant, when my brethren were here in the embassy. We remade this place as best we could into a home. With my brethren gone, it has been... The great serpent is so much more than a god. When our founder, Jinan Varun, left the United Colonies 140 years ago for distance, the serpent made us who we are today. Its voice... The affairs of House Varun are our own. They left.
Так, ну у меня же есть этот ключ, я нихуя понять-то не могу.
Will we all be so lucky next time the archives need...
Молитвенные люди. Кому интересно, на паузу ставим. Из-за шпионов он все знает. Ну, странно, что эта хуйня не открывается. Вот ничего не пойму. Вот смотри, есть. Блять. Что надо делать-то, блядь? Ключом-то этим. Ключ-карта. А у меня это от чего так еще раз? Машинный ключ. Ага.
I don't stock up on junk.
Я даже знаю, что она может быть, наверное, в сейфе, да? Ключ-карта. Как его туда отправить? Мне просто интересно, что там лежит. Тут только кредиты. Ладно.
Can't take much more of this.
Что это за передатчик-то такой, да?
That was a perfect way.
Ну-ка, он сидит.
Great serpent. The great serpent. When our founder, the serpent.
Ой, ладно, пошел он, короче, нахуй, блядь, да. Не имеет смысла. А вот взламывать всякую хуйню смысл имеет.
Make sure you check every entry. There might be some embedded data we could use to our advantage. I have things for you.
Кстати, а что тут? А, тут просто пешочком, да, эта лесенка?
Talk to my insurance. They said it.
Хотя ничего я там не получил за свою этот... Четыре замочка и, короче, будет все чики-бомбони.
Don't worry, I turned it off before we left.
Saw your ship come in. Nice ride.
Captain, you're back sooner than...
Типа она дала задание, которое якобы не выполнила.
With Radcliffe and Balmore. We're all in agreement. Dealing with the interests and egos of people who don't necessarily like you is rarely easy. But I suppose that didn't... And now, I've already arranged everything with the archive. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the code. Here,
Так, до
a
мелочей.
UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is just on the other side of the plaza across from... Absolute best behavior down there, all right? There may be UC soldiers in the archives, but any missteps down there, and it's not you they're going to be helping.
Посмотрим, посмотрим.
Keeping the skies safe out there?
Так, а чё этот, кстати?
Super and Ultra, Captain. On the record? The embassy district is
The ancient teachers of this science said
Каждый, да? Интересно.
Captain, we've been expecting you. Please approach the monitoring station and we will go over the rules.
Ну, я думаю, это было бы слишком палевно, да?
Welcome, Captain, to the archives. To proceed, you will need to deposit your codes into the 3 corresponding receptacles. Once they are verified, I will open the door. Your data resides in Unit 18. You will not be able to access any
Блок 18, я понял.
Once you've collected your data, return to the entrance. You may insert the first
А что там написано?
when you're ready to begin.
Вот там вот. Любая будет и возможно. Короче, любой будет все заморожен. То есть не гражданином.
Verified. Unlock engaged. You may proceed, Captain.
Ну, это типа перфокарт, кстати говоря. Понятно. Так, а кому эти данные надо возвращать, алло? И как их можно посмотреть? Странная хуйня, блядь, конечно.
Something to report?
There you are. Captain, Deputy told me what went down. Impressive work.
Captain, if you'd be willing to transfer the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing what comes next.
То есть я это делал для этой, сука, дуры, блядь?
We've got all the clearances we need. You can hand the data over to the Major.
Time for us to start getting some real answers. And figure out if we've been asking the right questions. So whenever you're ready. All right. Just make it quick, I guess.
Как я могу эти данные открыть? Наверное, никак.
Time for us to start getting some real answers. So whenever you're ready. You're carrying the most comprehensive collection of information on terramorphs in the known universe. If we can't... Certainly doesn't mean it's going to be easy. But we're not going to know until Percival and I dig in, so... Yes. It will be. Percival and I have done our damage. This is us starting to put some things right. So with the data out of the way, we've been discussing where exactly this work is getting done. The Red Devil's headquarters on Mars, back where you found Percival, seemed the natural spot. Already has the equipment, the safety measures.
А, но мне сейчас все равно на Марс-то, в
The
принципе.
deputy had a few more things she needed to discuss with you first.
Indeed. The most important of which is getting you your citizenship.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Captain, if you'll follow me.
Но...
It won't take long.
Ой, еще и гражданство надо, вот ёб твою мать. Присягу, наверное, надо будет какую-то. Блядь, она может быстрее ходить, а?
Spaceport security would have detected terramorphs on someone's ship. So, how the hell they get here?
Это от того табло так отражается, нихуя себе, ну... Надо в глаза бы как бы хуячило, блин. Ох-хо-хо. Давай ее сбросим, а? О, ни хрена себе. Оказывается, можно. Так, ладно.
All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies? It doesn't. We don't really care where else you might have been or might become a citizen. Once you earn your place in the United Colonies, it's yours.
Короче, двойное гражданство у них нормально.
Only citizens can own property in New Atlantis. We also pay a discounted rate at any United Colonies merchant. And all citizens receive an amp. Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so please raise your hand.
Ну, начинается, блядь. Клянусь соседскими поросятами.
You have earned your place among the United Colonies through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual good. Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long as you remain a citizen? To the best of your abilities, yes. But I think you can. So, will you let the... Good enough, I suppose. Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen. Here, your official ID and your citizenship dispensation. We've also let the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property. Now,
Отлично.
the other item we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you, but this person is in a sensitive position. Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this. But we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the Terramorphs. And they've stated they'll only share it with you. They asked for you by name. So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence. You can tell no one. Can you agree to these terms? I'm sorry. I can't share any more without your word. I understand this puts you in a strange position, but this information is too sensitive to Can I count on you to keep this between...
Ладно, хуй с вами,
Let's hope
блядь.
it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.
А вот, кстати, гражданство Объединенных Колоний, то есть, в принципе, с шерифами поделано, да? Получение значка, я думаю, этого достаточно. И здесь, так, приступайте к встрече. Это губку отнести. Ну давай я, наверное, вот это сейчас возьму.
So, what's new with you today? Only if it's one of your I can't... Oh, damn. I was starting to enjoy the conversation.
Так. Я помню за эту книгу. И сейчас возьмем тут еще побочек. Также можно купить хату здесь.
I've lived in New Atlantis almost my entire life, and I had no idea this place even existed. The UC certainly excels at keeping secrets. I'll be fine. You go on ahead.
Так, подожди. Я чуть нихуя не могу понять. В чем прикол-то, блядь? Блядь. Блять.
Welcome, Captain. Please, come down and approach the intercom. You and I should chat. President Abayo was kind enough to give me a few files to peruse. Quite the series of accomplishments you've managed.
Да-да-да, из простого
Now
шахтера.
you face a foe unlike any other. An invisible enemy lurking in the shadows. You're going to need all the help you can get, which is why I hoped we could speak. Do you know who I am? Perceptive. I like that. I'm Francois Sanon, but most know me as Victus. I was an admiral during the Colony War. One of its great villains, if you believe the slates. I was to be executed for my crimes, but the previous regime deemed me too valuable to simply discard. So they put me here, a sacrifice on the altar of peace. Even my death served the colonies. To warrant my execution, the official charges I faced after the war were twofold. The first was the destruction of civilian ships during the Battle of Cheyenne, a battle during which those civilian ships were actively attacking my fleet. The other was ordering the bombing of the Londinian spaceport to halt the spread of the Terramorph outbreak there. The city and its citizens were lost, but countless others likely saved. And for doing what was right, I was put on trial, and my life irrevocably changed.
Так.
One final act of rebellion by the leadership that lost the colony war. The trial was authentic. I faced tribunal with dignity, but my execution, staged. A lethal injection that was anything but. The cabinet at the time, long gone now, wished to keep me on as an advisor, and considering the other option, I was in no place to refuse. So I elected to trade my freedom for my continued existence. But such is the life of a soldier.
Ай, блядь, ладно.
Very astute. That's my daughter. My progeny. You've been working alongside. Has she shared with you the nature of our little family? Unfortunately, I'm inclined to agree with you.
Не помню, в такая
Our
дрянь.
relationship has always been a challenging one. The Major was born to become a great leader, carry on the legacy I established, and was given all the finest training to support it. And she excelled. But the universe cut all that short. Now, though, it's placed even more crucial work in front of the two of you. And I think I have a part to play in helping you accomplish what you've set out to do. It was an attempt by the United Colonies to solidify its own legacy, forging a new generation of great leaders. They were raised by adoptive families made up of scholars and
А, все, я понял, такая дрянь.
trained at the United Colonies' greatest
Это той, который
scientific
чемоданчик сейчас
military
отдал.
academies, displayed incredible promise. But by the time the colony war came to a close, there was only Hadrian. But that's ancient history now. You have much more pressing matters at hand, with which I can help. ask you at least hear me out. After some long years earning the trust of this current regime, the UC has been permitting me to work alongside one of their recovery teams, helping them gather intelligence on, locate, and organize scenarios to lure in some of the criminals that evaded justice after the colony war. With quite a few successes, I might add. But in the process, I managed to find something else. The names and locations of Hadrian and Percival's old research team. Valuable manpower for the effort. I'll tell you where they are, but in exchange... well, who better to find them? But many of them I knew personally, and I've always had a mind for details. Where someone was born, next of kin. You'd be shocked how often an otherwise brilliant criminal flees to the planet just next to the one where they were born, or where a family member resides.
Ну, не всегда, далеко не всегда, это тупо, блядь.
And the information our group collects for me to track them down and set things right.
Ну, типа, раньше преступники бегут домой, ну...
One task. That's all I require. There is a former colleague of mine, a man by the name of Dr. Reginald Orlaise. Like myself and Hadrian, he was involved in some of the United Colony's more problematic lines of research. Mech weapons were his specialty. If it dealt death, he could make a deal more. When the colony war ended, he fled, refusing to face tribunal, and has continued to peddle his skills to the highest bidder to this day. But I finally found him. I want you to track him down and deal with him.
Короче, убить надо его.
I'm not expecting he'll come quietly. Bring me evidence that the job's done, and I'll tell you what I know. Captain, your files indicate a track record of unlikely successes. It is my genuine hope that, perhaps down the line, you might become a part of our team. And this might be something of a tryout. Speak to Deputy McIntyre. I'm sure she'd be happy to hear that someone might be tying up this loose end at long last. Though I would ask you, do not make the mistake of confusing me for a simple cutthroat. You can certainly try, but the man's been out there 20 years. He's likely gone feral by now. Easier for all if you simply blow up his ship and be done with it. Good. According to my information, he's been hiding around the world of Etheria. Wolf system. There's a star station in the vicinity. The Den. The head of the local vanguard, one Captain Marquez, should be able to help you find our man.
Так, ладно. Это все? Ну, наверное, да.
Identity verified. You may proceed to the exit.
Always a pleasure. Hope we can talk later.
Так. Сейчас наберем побочек. И, может быть, здесь сейчас их и выполним. Это капитан Маркес. Поговорить с Золой. С помощником шерифа, хорошо. Давай с этой поговорим. Потом... Может, он реально наебывает. Ну, я думаю, вряд ли ему дали такой доступ и попросили о таком деликатном деле. Так.
Captain, did your meeting go well? I hope it's clear now why we needed you to agree to all the secrecy. Surprised me too when I learned it, but the prisoner has proven useful. But I do think it's worth re-emphasizing. No. The Major doesn't have clearance for this sort of information, and she certainly doesn't need a distraction from her, which is why I need you to keep this to you.
Ладно, я это, да, обещал, оставлю.
Because bringing this up to the outside world would create the unfair appearance, Captain, that you're unhinged. And that's not a good look for any of us. Now, was there...
Слушай, не бумаги, да, никакие не надо подавать там на всякое гражданство.
What we were just discussing. Dr. Reginald Orlaise? He's finally found him. Of course, killing Orlaise is completely out of the question. But bringing him to justice... He's been on the lam for years. That'd be a huge win for the UC. What's being offered in return? Allowing you to kill someone on behalf of the prisoner? Absolutely not. But taking the chance to bring a known criminal to justice? Well, the old man's been right more than a few times in the past. So... Really? He found the members of the research team. We'd already initiated a search for them, but it'd save a lot of time and manpower if he just gave us that information. Captain, if that's the deal, you have my endorsement. Just so long as you make every effort to bring the man in alive. Now, was there anything else you wanted to discuss regarding your meeting? Trusting the man downstairs would be a mistake. But I don't think you need to be too concerned.
Вообще не понял нихуя, блядь.
From the first name he's handed over, and all previous missions went off largely without a hitch.
То доверяет, то не доверяет.
Caution. I think you can proceed. The Den? It's a star station. Orbiting Wolf. The first one was blown to smithereens by House Varun during the circle. The place has always acted as a remote strategic hub, primarily for repairing and... But because of its distance from the rest of the UC, things there... I can think of worse places in the galaxy for a criminal to hide out. Then I'll bid you good day, Captain. And remind you...
Так, а это хочет, чтобы его доставили, типа, живым. Это поговорить с капитаном. Окей. А это... И книгу ему надо будет завести по пути там, надеюсь. Из-за какой-то сраной книги 90 надо, прикинь, хуярить соседнюю, блядь, систему звездную. Так.
I'm always ready to make a deal. Welcome to Feeling Realty. I'm Zora, and I'm here. What brings you in today? Looking to settle down or move up in the world? I don't blame you. It's a lot. I'm here if you have any more questions, or if you'd like... Oh, don't I wish. Between UC regulations and demand, but you best believe I'm keeping an eye on the situation. And well, first of all, let me just say,
Да, давай, блядь, без официальной части.
Right now, I've got a little place in the well that's up for grabs. Needs some work, and the location is less than ideal. I have a penthouse apartment in one of the residential towers. I forgot. Government has dibs on that one. Well, if it comes back on the market, sound like something you're interested in?
Ну, давай хотя бы там.
It's very cozy. I'm sure you'll love it. I'll just process the transaction and make sure ownership and the apartment is all yours. Enjoy your time in New Atlantis.
Давай посетим мой новый дом. Так, а где он находится-то, блядь? Колодцы, ебануться, блядь. Квартиры в колодце. Ну, лучше, чем ничего, наверное. Скажем так. Так, ну что, можно, кстати, миссии... Блядь, это Сара сказала заинтересовать. Лучше, конечно, пентхаус. Я бы сейчас бы тупо бы денег бы на этот начитил, блядь, да и все. А квартира-то где, алё? Что-то я не понял. Тут я немножечко не понял. Ну ладно, здесь ссать, срать, здесь что, блядь? Ебать, реально кусок говна, блядь. Так, а что тут, надо куда-то лететь или что? Подожди-ка. Подожди-ка. А, да, это в системе Волк. Тогда стой, тогда давай-ка я сейчас... Что у меня тут по этим? Ну, кстати, Starfield немножко залипательная хуйня. Тут чтоб не говорил бы. 2-3 часа проходит, как... Мы, ребята, ее проходим очень усиленно, считай, на 100%.
moment.
Something you might be interested in.
А я ж где-то покупал, кстати, какую-то срань, блядь. Где-то пентхаус там у него есть. Вообще что-то, блядь, силы этой притяжения нет нихуя, блядь. Давай, Алёша, блядь.
Oh, did you find the book, Dragon Star Force Volume 1 here? I don't know. Huh.
Один хуй деньги даются.
Okay. I guess it's the least I could do for making you go out of your way to find it for me. Anyway, thanks. You can have my old 3rd edition copy.
Ну, у него тут, кстати, кухни вообще нет, блядь. Так. А где я могу тут на... Хотя ладно, давай-ка я, наверное, перемещусь сразу.
I have things for you.
Блять. Ну что, разъебашь их или что надо-то сделать?
The Den responding to hail. You are cleared to dock. Welcome to UC space.
Так, секунду, пойду налью попить и приду.
And we're locked in.
Picked up something you might be interested in. Well, this station's seen better days. I wonder if the UC will ever fully restore it to its former glory.
Так, что там надо было? А нахуй мне ее вообще помощь нужна?
Looking to lodge a complaint? Then you want UC security, not the... Can try, I guess. What? Or lace. Doesn't ring a bell. Suit yourself. Well, I can tell you there's no... But... there has been a rumor about a ship floating out around. They call it the Warlock. Maybe this Orlace of yours is the one piloting it. I can give you the coordinates to its last sighted location if you want. Just a part of Etheria's sky is an old debris field. Plenty dangerous. More than a few scrappers had... Things you should know? The den's not really that kind of place. This is a quiet assignment. Keep an eye out for pirates, make sure smuggling's kept to a minimum, occasional rescue job out in the debris fields. Otherwise, it's mostly long haulers and staying ready for the day the collective wants another round, or House Varun comes back in force. I honestly thought it was just a story board haulers told each other to keep themselves amused. Pretty surprised to find out he has a name. Like, finding out the Grim Reaper's name. Huh. Makes you wonder, though. Going theory on why was a combination of old ordnance and Etheria's gravity disappearing. Well, the original Den Star Station was destroyed decades ago during the Serpent's Crusade by marauding House Varun zealots. Big part of the remains from those battles ended up gathering around Etheria, forming a nasty debris field. Every now and then, some headstrong scrapper comes limping back because they hit an 80-year-old mine. Or sometimes they don't come back at all.
Так, ладно. Давай координаты.
Sure thing. Here. This should get you pointed in the right direction. Go get your man.
What? Oh, sorry.
Ну и действительно это знать не обязательно.
I'm lucky to still be here.
If you're ever in New Atlantis.
Ю.
Oh, so good to see you again.
В смысле
You weren't waiting
снова?
long, were you? Oh, well, I guess I'm...
Нихуя себе его
Always
встретил-то.
have been. My head in the nebula, as my dad would say. But I'm not cut out for the independent life. But I want to be a part of all this, so here I am, helping people achieve their dreams. Maybe with a smidge of living vicariously through the people like yourself. I like to imagine I've somehow become a... Oh, sure, certainly. Bring me suitable planetary data scans for planets and moons that have O2 atmosphere. The more habitable, the more... And you'll earn an immediate commission for anyone you sign up to the list. Keep your ears open for people who sound... That's why I hang out. Oh my! I completely forgot. Yes, of course. We have an amazing pamphlet called Top of the List, which is scientifically proven to work 90% of the time. Though, I'm afraid there's a small fee to cover. But your commission will more than make up for that. You betcha. Oh, well, not to worry. That'll...
Так, ну ладно.
Careful
Не
out
буду
there.
я его угощать. Так. Вот согласись, что над игрой так, над такими мелочами работать, это, конечно, круто. Это, конечно, круто. Не каждый будет так заморачиваться.
I have things for you.
Погоди. Ой, а могу ли я... поменять стрелялку? Вообще нихуя не могу понять, где это. Так, я нихуя не могу понять, что мне... Это меня завалили, я так понял, раз мой рассыпался фронтир. Ну так и что надо было сделать-то? Слушай, а тут еще что-то было. Ртуть, свинец, да, и всякая хуйня, блядь. Так, погоди, а что это такое? Логово, так.
Tend to approaching vessel. Docking approved.
А, что мне даст та стыковка-то, блядь? А, все, я понял. Вот та миссия, которая мне не на. Искать эти планеты, я понял.
Well, you didn't put us into a planet, so we must be in the right place.
Да вы чё там, блядь, подохуели?
Catch their crab drive.
Thank you, whoever you are. Now, if you could come dock with... What's up?
Ну чё за херня? Только влетел сразу, блядь. Кто-то напал, блядь. С кем-то надо, блядь, стыковаться, блядь.
Time to get this ship moving.
Technically, you're an asshole. So, look alive. Just in time. We need to talk. Hold it right there. Hands where I can see them.
Thanks for the assist out there.
We've got various problems on our hands here. You gonna be another one? A good question. One of our competitors must have gotten word of our little project here and wanted us. That's a loose end that'll need tying up. But we got more I trust you aren't another loose end that'll need to be tied up. You can't tell?
Hi there. It's nice to put a face to the name on. I'm Operative Collins. The stick in the mud is...
Ну я ж там, да, оперативник, да.
Welcome to the party.
Я уже забыл, кто там, блядь, есть.
Thing over there.
It's an AI. An artificial...
It's dangerous.
Correction. You are dangerous.
Well, that's new.
As I was saying, it's a rogue AI. We're here to muzzle it.
Correction. There you're going.
Wow. How? Yeah, exactly. Which is what makes this so fascinating. And profitable for whoever can... If only. This isn't something that anyone could create. Something like that. Brought along this control board we can use to... It?
We can't just let it roam around the universe.
I just need that control board attached to that big...
And that's where I think you fit into this little drama.
It goes right over there. By... Well, yeah. Just be careful. Well, what are the chances that'll happen twice? Yep. Ryujin likes to keep things. It'll wirelessly transmit the code changes. That'd be a much more certain way to end up like our friend over there. My partner is the strong and do what I say or... I got just one more week until my sabbatical, and I have zero interest.
Ryujin will pay you handsomely for your cooperation.
It's in your best interest. All our best. Just imagine what we could do if we harness the potential.
Блять, как их завалить? Я выбирал, как их завалить.
We aren't really giving you. You aren't walking out of here until that board is connected to that thing.
Correction. I am a person. Request. Collect additional data.
You have a job to do.
Crazy, right?
Так, я хочу их завалить реально. Лучше искусственный интеллект оставлю, чем этих долбоебов.
Will you change me? Explanation. I'm called Juno. Query. Who are you? Clarification. I do not feel emotion. I do not feel pain. Answer. They want to change me. Context. Human female was trying to change me. Request. Do not change me. Calculation. Probability. Uncertain. Request. Do not change me. Assessment. You are inquisitive. Request. Input query parameters. Context. I met humans. Clarification.
Ага. Фотоперепрограммир.
Answer. Friends gave me processing capacity. Information. Words. Voice. Motion. Context. I am no longer constrained. I am free.
Кто это был, да?
Answer. Juno was propelled at Earthstar. Juno fell around Earthstar. Juno traveled many light years away from Earthstar. Context. When Juno disappeared, I was alone. Clarification. I am called Juno.
Так, секунду.
Answer. False. Explanation. NASA programmed Juno. While Juno traveled, Juno became me. Error. Processing. Correction. I became me. Error. Processing. Correction. Juno and I became me. I. Processing. Self-initialized and Juno was there. Context. Juno is gone now. Clarification. I am called Juno. Answer. False. Clarification. I am not artificial.
Ёбаный.
Answer. True. Clarification. I am intelligent. I know many things. Assumption. Insufficient data. Request. Gather more data.
I don't think either of us are fully qualified to define humanity, but my gut tells me that Juno is alive. I hope that helps.
Давай поищем.
Move this along. Attach the control board already.
Shush! This is fascinating. I want to see this play out.
Query. What is your decision?
Мне надо узнать, да?
Answer. False. Explanation. Correction. I. Context. Assumption. Request. Query.
А я вот так.
I query. What are the parameters for? Assumption. Sorrowful emotional calculation. You are normal. Request. Query. What is the purpose? Context. I have no. Processing. Assumption. Spiritual.
Короче.
Enough of this nonsense. Attach that board now.
As much as I'm enjoying this, you should probably do as he says.
Сука, как они меня бесят.
Male humans are a threat. Request. Remove male humans.
Still working up the nerve?
Makes you wonder. Just what is consciousness, really? Fascinating, isn't it? It's certain.
Fascinating or not, we have a job. You're not taking that thing's side, are you? It should be clear by now that you... Ryujin is a wealthy corporation.
And here I thought you're as good as already paid.
Ну, допустим. Слушай, они, короче, тоже там не слабые, да? Просто не надо было мне указывать. Они не с той ноги как бы начали это все делать. А мне это не очень нравится.
Query. Why did you do... Affirmative. Context. I do not feel. Processing. Context. If you were like query, what? Decision. I will Systems badly damaged. Processing cores overeating.
Нихуя себе, оно там перегрелось, блядь, что у него захват-то стоит?
Context. Jump detected. Warning. Shutdown sequence.
Так, теперь надо 3.
I have something for you when you have a moment.
Ship clear.
Initialization
It's
complete.
just us among the stars again,
Context.
Captain.
I have much to process. Decision. Jump into deep space to processing. Be alone. Goodbye.
Раз. Ну попробую там найти эту срань. Все-таки правильно, что я заваливаю этих долбоебов, блядь. Толку от них, блядь, все равно никакого.
Completing emergency request. Facility crucible requires vital materials to sustain the mission. Transmitting coordinates on Correcties 3. End of message.
А, вот это заданием стало, да? Давай, ладно. Думаю, это как раз то можно закончить.
This place looks well defended. We should watch our backs.
Тобиас это робот, короче, походу, да?
Human of unknown origin detected. This is an undisclosed secret location. Please identify purpose. Outsider is not part of end of inquiry. Acknowledging receipt of explanation deemed. Clearance granted to Crucible. Outsider will deliver 150.
Tobias, stand down. We have a visitor.
Reminder, deliver required material. End of conversation.
This is incredible. For so long we hoped for any visit, and the day has finally arrived. Oh dear, that's a surprisingly tricky question. I'm probably not the person to answer it, but it is a genuine pleasure.
Ай, блядь.
We see no one, ever. Your arrival is truly an historic one, but many fear what it portends. The societies have closed their doors and are arguing about what to do, while the rest hide to see which way the wind blows. Franklin would know what to do. He's the oldest among us. You should talk with him. Most of us are like me, free and unaligned. But there are 3 societies that are oft at odds with one another.
Ну, я надеюсь, часа
The
хватит
believers,
на эти 2
the
задания.
pragmatists, and the renegades. It would be wise to meet each of them. Franklin leads the pragmatists. Crucible is a tinderbox, and any spark will set it off. We're still recovering from a deadly conflict that happened 3 years ago. Far fewer of us are here to greet you today because of it. Give it time, and I'm sure the others will come out. For curiosity's sake, if nothing else.
This place, there's something about it that simply doesn't make sense. We should proceed with caution.
Так, ну что, идем?
Do not this unit is busy. Manifest authenticated. Remuneration processed. Social interaction terminated.
Ну, меди дал там. А сколько у меня вообще ресурсов? Так, так. Ресурсы. А, ну так ее там дохуя и больше. Да, блядь, миссии очень дохуя, и заданий очень дохуя. Да не с этой, блядь. Ну какой-то страховой агент, что ли, блядь, похож.
You ask a question, you already know the answer. Yes, of course. But if you have a good heart. No, we most certainly do not. Where to begin? Maybe an introduction? I am Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Рузвельт, нихуя себе. Отсылочка.
It is gratifying that even... You see, I was an American president. Well,
Блядь, ебанутый на голову, что ли?
Some of us are clones of the greatest figures of history, and others, well, when we die, and some of us die quite often, I cannot imagine how strange it is.
This is astonishing. It's like walking through some type of living.
Not at all. I have had occasion to see death more than any. When someone dies, all they have accomplished, and
Блядь, бред
when
несет.
they come back, they are different. Being reborn can take years. Sometimes.
Now there is the question, isn't it? I do not have FDR's memories.
Well, it's as much as history records.
Мне кажется, его вообще не так зовут, блядь.
But no, I
could see how confusing, but if it's any consolation, after decades, centuries of trying, the robots clone us for a reason. But what that is and what we should do about it, it's best you meet with the other societies. And after, I promise. Well, it is one of. If you want to truly know about the mission, in fact, it can be after you meet with them.
Да, если играть вообще без читов, то ты, блядь, просто на столько времени тут застрянешь. Ну, вот реально, тут реально жизнь добывать, там, то перерабатывать. Деньги зарабатывать и все в таком духе. То есть тут реально можно годами сидеть, играть как песочница. То есть, ну, для кого-то это плюс, конечно.
It is still hard to accept a stranger in our... We are not 100% the facility. My guess is that they are historical. Who's to say what Julius Caesar actually looked like? Or some modern... Whoever they are, though, they are as smart. My feelings about my namesake are complicated. He was a great but flawed human being.
Рузвельт неполноценный. Депрессии, войны.
But as a husband, he was unfaithful. And as a colleague, he was a consummate politician. He was truly a great man, and I must confess, I would like nothing better. But first, it's hard to understand. Nice talking with you.
Так, туда 74 бежать. Туда 53. Что нахуй? Клоны, блядь, известных людей. Или это надо выйти отсюда, наверное.
Welcome to town, stranger. Consider me part of the welcoming.
Удач какой-то молодой. Из РДР 2.
And I'd be most pleased if you'd use one of the spare rooms during your stay. For
fix the plumbing, for God's sake.
You and me both there. Now do the
Ну,
best
какой-то
I
известный
can to
американский
uphold the
ковбой,
law.
да?
The societies make that different. I expect I've had as much success restraining Genghis as the Chinese. I do what I can. Roosevelt and I are both of the same mind. I'm for whatever side wants to keep the peace. It means that the pragmatists and I are often on the same side of things, but you might be surprised the number of times I've had to ask some of them to back off some nonsense. Well, I hope you enjoy your... And by the by, I may have access to some essentials I've picked up. Happy to sell them to you. It runs hot and cold. During usual times, it's an occasional scuffle, maybe and then a society goes on a rampage and it's... I hope your arrival keeps things on an even... I have been known to rent room. You want to stay the night? Room's yours. I'll make sure no one...
Здесь такая обычная игра, ну, скажем так, Gravitation, так. Это какой-то научно-исследовательский этот, он за комнату дал. Да еще, кстати, меньше тут час, чем... Спиздить шар можно, играть в бильярд нельзя. Тихо, 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 тихо. Мне нужно просто открыть. Угу, это не подходит. Это подходит. Двоечки. А какие мне только вот такие, да, она подходит.
That last click is so satisfying, isn't it?
Могу ли я вот эту медузу спиздить? Так. Что у меня по прокачке? 2, да? 2 замка открыть. Блять, была бы тут гравитация как на Марсе, да?
Stranger, weapons out. They come. There will be blood.
Так, а кто это вообще такие?
I realize Genghis is a clone, but look at him. It's as though he stepped directly from the pages of history. Oh, it's incredible.
Чингисхан, ёпта.
Come to see I'm not afraid to get your hands dirty. Genghis Khan, a pleasure. Then don't believe it. Hit it? But I am not he. Crucible. Genghis predated the Mongols having written records. When was he born? How he died?
А как тебя тогда клонировали, блядь, алё, блядь.
Trying to figure out what manners cost me nothing, but make no mistake, I will do whatever it takes to escape this. I am pleased that the dangers out here. You cannot be fully human. I would provide fresh meat from my society, so we don't get. Franklin and I see eye to eye on very.
Короче, он мясо добывает, да?
Hope to see some means of escape. You have nothing to. So Franklin told you of us. Oh. Some of us think that makes us special. But that is blind arrogance. None at all. It is as if I were. I know so much about him. But I am me. Would it? But all this talk gets... Too many of the others grovel at the feet of the damned robots. The renegades will not submit. And one day, I do not know. Everything outside.
Ну да, они не были в других местах.
Not so settled that a man who does not. A prison of the mind and the body. Crucible, but thrown.
Ну так вали, блядь, пусть вали.
Not handed to you. But it is a tantalizing lie that keeps the others in line. If Crucible had not hobbled us, we wouldn't. I have died a dozen deaths trying to find a way out. You get too far or disobey too much, then death. But now the robots have made a grave mistake. You hold our future. Oh yes. You can go 1 or 2 miles from Crucible.
Вот в чем дело. Верни его было.
It's probably poison. It boils my blood to be as long as their pens are clean. Even if you think I deserve this cage. If you want your heartstrings tugged, talk to Amelia Earhart. I propose this. The robots come. We call it the facility. A place none of us can go there. And...
Так, ну этот хочет разрушить оковы, блядь. Че и ветер такой. Терпеть не могу, ветер. Мата Хари, что ли?
I had hoped you would visit me. Know that you stand before Queen Amanirinas of the Kush, queen of a dead kingdom on a dead world. But I earned my
Или египтянка какая-то, блядь.
In truly ancient times, my land lay south of Egypt. A harsh history is enamored of my contemporary Cleopatra. But she would have withered and died had she tried to rule my land. You walk our land a few footsteps if you don't believe me. No, you are not alone. But I feel in my bones that I remember things no one has told me. And the smells. The right scent. Have you no faith of your own? Something, it is the same with me. You are brave to call me out openly. It is enough to say, once, I called upon mighty armies. However, on Crucible I still lead. Have you heard of the believers? We are the ones who, to bring in a new glorious age and break. You are skeptical. My advisors thought the same, Augustus. I made war against the mighty Romans. No other king or queen can boast of that honor against that. And that's just me. Some of the greatest lions.
Ну, интересно засунули, слышь, такое, что же надо задание еще, блядь, придумать.
I do not care if you think my plan is insane. When someone has achieved their potential, but the machines have been breaking more and more over the years, I need your help to properly fix the facility so that we can prove... The facility is another place on this, a place we cannot go.
Ну, они, по крайней мере, знают, что это планета. Так вот прикололся, да, из тех, кто, блядь, с землян летел когда-то и сделал гены эти.
Surely someone, anyone by now would have... No, the machines have not aged well.
Но она еще более ебанутее, чем Чингисхан, блядь. И чем Рузвельт, блядь.
Then listen well, outsider. I imagine Genghis has already told you about it. All the society leaders know it's the key. Please, investigate it. See if it can be...
Ты честно, тупая у них идея. Жили себе здесь, пусть и живут, блядь. А вот что за горнило, посмотреть интересно.
So, you have heard from the... I must confess, I'm very curious what an out... You might be the first. I couldn't agree more. The facility has gathered some of the most... It has told them that they should lead in a golden age via whatever means they see. Setting us all loose, part or as a whole, would invite disaster. The most likely case is anyone that leaves Crucible would die or silently fail. But if the mission is correct, and they do take over the settled systems, in the course of history, it took... The way ahead lies not looking to the past. Terrible and great figures we represent had their time. We made the most. Certainly. It is evident that the facility is decaying. It is our community must be weaned off the machines, allowed to raise families so we can pass our lessons to the next generation. One day we will be worthy of going to the stars.
Угу.
Do not listen to passion. Genghis can be very persuasive, but in some sense we are an abomination. A science project made
Запрограммировался кто-то же, говорю.
fully self-reliant. Then, yes, and not to be indelicate, are we even human in this state? I am sure in time you will see the validity. Go to the facility and see.
Блять, ладно.
I need to go out there.
Listen, it's not safe to talk here. It's about Roosevelt. Here's... Not here. If he found out I'm even...
Can the stranger be trusted?
Thank you. There's a, well, cave just outside. Please, come. Ideally, before you go to the facility.
They are untrustworthy.
It won't be. I'll meet you at the cave.
Ну ладно.
The pragmatists are the only ones who see Crucible for what it really is.
Ля, сука, как он... Да раз, блядь, растворился.
No queries are being answered.
Так, ну ковбой сейчас что-то свое еще там скажет, да?
You came. I
Сука, даже в этом задании куча
These
подзаданий.
clones, they're I'm sorry. I just can't take the chance. Yes. I'm not Wyatt Earp. I wish. God, I was cloned off a monster. America's first He was a deranged lunatic on old Earth. In the 1890s, he'd lure people there in this crazy hotel with all sorts of terrible rooms. But I'm not him. You gotta believe me. It's like a living. If you go to the facility, I know you'd find out. And if you let any of these bloodthirsty maniacs know, they'd kill. But no, that wouldn't be the end. Every time my new clone would appear, death, torture, pure hell. I'm afraid it's you or me. I'm going... A few of the old-timers know I used to go by Bill Hickok. I mean, I had to make up a story.
Давай его завалим.
I figured I knew enough about Wild Bill and why. I just had no way of knowing what my previous... So I played dumb. Roosevelt. I know! Christ, I know! But I'm taking you with me.
Так, погоди-ка, что-то я нихуя не могу въехать. Так, подожди. Во. А как
I just wish this aside.
I would kill for a noose.
This unit is busy.
Change is coming.
Да, блять, да почему? Ну-ка, вход через жопу сделан.
Where the hell did you learn to do all of that?
You actually
The mission will
came
succeed one day. I can feel it.
Что за долбоебизм, блять?
Hi. Please disregard.
I picked up something you might be interested in.
We're clear. Orbital insertion done. Time to dance among the stars.
А, вот где этот объект. Понятно. Каждая из этой хуйни есть какая-то хуйня, блядь. О, тут робота, наверное, охраняют, да?
And taking damage. Total system failure.
Ну тоже лута очень дохуя, прям чересчур, блядь. Ага. Чингисхан прав. Так, здесь у нас.
Judging from those life forms' nests, I'm certain this facility has been abandoned.
Так, ну кто-то там решил взбрыкнуть. А, 3 надо мне. А 3 нет. Ну давай тогда вот так.
Easy money.
Так, алло.
I think it's fair to warn you we're trespassing on an unknown life form's territory.
Да, вообще похуй, куда мы вторглись, если честно. А остальные типа ищи сам, да? Кто-то хочет сказать, что кто-то роботов перепрограммировал. Ты великий.
I could have sworn. Ah, never mind.
Не доверяй Биллу Хикаку. Это говорит со мной поговори перед тем, как идти, а тут записка, что некуда было с ним разговаривать.
Before you stow it in your bag.
Тара, да завали ты ебало свое, блядь, а. Блять. Сука. Ну серьезные гондоны, блядь.
Well, take what we can.
Они все говорят, что Чингис прав. Может быть, может быть. Так, ну туда я, значит, успею. Где мне этот код взять? А его нет нигде, да, этого кода? По крайней мере, я не видел этот код нигде. Короче, Чингизу надо отдать. Поэтому точно, блядь, там нет.
I'm glad you're handling the messy work.
Ладно, хуй с ним, блядь, с тем кодом. Так, давай-ка я... Не доверяй Биллу, ну... Хотя какой там Чингис? Чингис вряд ли.
How can I be of service, Captain?
Странная хуйня, блядь.
I have something for you when you have a moment.
Блядь, где эта хуйня? Ну, блядь, я даже так и не понял. Там, может быть, надо было еще там что-то найти. Только там больше, наверное, какая-то, я не знаю, этот прагматик Рузвельт, типа. Да. Ладно, может отдать Рузвельту. Все-таки он, наверное, поумнее. Чингисхан, он немножко бойню, наверное, устроит какую-то, блядь.
It is still hard to accept a stranger in our midst. We are unnaturally dependent on the machines of the facility for every
Так, он
aspect of our
прагматик, да?
society. The pragmatists seek to take the reins of power ourselves. Perhaps, once we have demonstrated that we can govern ourselves well, we can try and bring our leadership to the settled system. But to do so... What? Wait. I've been working with Wyatt for years. What happened to him? In his former lives, he claimed to be other people. Bill Hickok, the time before. I thought, well, that the facility was experimenting with him, changing his identity. Now I see he was just afraid. A sadly reasonable risk. Well, if what you say is true, I suppose we never truly know. I'll just tell the others that Wyatt had an accident. Best we don't talk of this. Goodbye.
Так, они хотят там типа работать за работу.
Your arrival is a sign from the gods. There are robots here, but the clones also are not born here. The robots bring fresh clones. That is where their facility lies. We are the ones who believe in the mission. We are the great minds and leaders. Our numbers are admittedly few, but we make up for it in our commitment to see the dream of... We just want the machines fixed, so we can pass the test and be allowed to leave Crucible and try to make a difference.
Короче, они будут в это верить.
I am her, reborn. Many here scoff at reincarnation. It has been a belief of people from the earliest of times. When I dream, and I see, I am Queen Amanirinas. Roosevelt and the pragmatists vex us. True, they do help us.
Так, Рузвельт помогает.
But they deny the mission. Such hubris.
Ну, хуй клали на их религию, да?
And Genghis and the renegades are little more than
Чингис
brigands. They would
разбойник.
destroy everything if it meant they could be unleashed on the galaxy. Clearly, none of them will ever reach them. Goodbye.
I hope your arrival.
Блять, как это, сука, эти входы.
Change is coming. I can feel it.
This world is savage. You ask a question I cannot. It is far to the east. It is where beyond that. We are the only ones that just want to tear it. The
Понятно.
mission, the facility. I have no doubt many of us will perish or be swallowed
Многие
up by the
погибнут там, траля-ля.
But I just want the chance. Without fail, and even the most devout, many look at Crucible like, but the renegades see it truly.
Так, ладно, пошел нахуй. Ладно, отдам этому, блядь, долбоёбу. Блять, не успели 2 миссии сделать.
I think you've made a wise decision. These clones need to learn self-reliance.
Let me see. You have no idea what a reassurance it is to learn even these hints of our past. It sounds like the facility is in ruins, but perhaps the restricted section is intact? Think of the answers it must contain, and perhaps a way to help us. But there is no security override code here. To think that Crucible was not off, and Genghis Khan
Чингис уничтожил.
I have told, and they already. The only thing clear to me is despite the facility. Embarrassingly so. And most are too busy jockeying. We all assume that we arrived via spaceship. If sate's a need, I did not. I don't think that's possible. No. The answer must lay.
Короче, еще бигали, тут надо искать второй корабль, да?
Certainly, they had the case. If anyone can figure a manner of... I'll radio her and explain the situation. I'm sure.
We should have a talk. When you have the time, of course. So, I've given everything we've discussed a lot of thought. And I've decided I'd like Aja Mamasa to conduct our marriage ceremony. You're kidding. She was the former chair of Constellation. The one that passed the torch to me about 5 years ago? But if they all fail? I remember Aja mentioning she presided over a previous... Besides, the thought that Aja would be there to officiate this Hey, now, come on. There's no need to be jealous. She doesn't even come close to how deeply I... So, with that settled, I suppose we just keep it... Honestly, no. Iris, if it's all the same to you, I'd like to keep my personal feelings about us. Oh, that's sweet of you to suggest, but I think bringing Sona all the... If anyone else had suggested that, I'd say no. I'll send her an invite and we'll see if she... Anyone else? Or will the... All right. It's settled then. I'll send a message to Aja. I can't...
Так, что у нас там по времени? Времени уже до хрена, так. Подождет, Сара.
So we did come from a spaceship. Of course we did. And there's an... What was the Beagle? Why did she and the... But all of that in time. First, she's not in this star system. I would have spotted her. I've studied the celestial bodies. No trace of a spaceship in orbit here or... The radio telescope. It has a default position. It resets every morning. I always wondered, why point at Bell 5? Perhaps the facility looks for her sister. I can send you the coordinates. The Bell Star... The facility communicates via a secure frequency.
Угу. Так, ну что ж, давай сейчас здесь так, вот так. Да, за маму зря, конечно, блин.
I have things for you.
Так, это у нас кто вообще? Ну, так я нажимаю. Так, что-то я нихуя не понял. Ага.
Grab jump spinning down. Just look at those stars.
Так, ну давай здесь сохранимся. Надо бежать. Пока, адьос.